Check it out, y'all. It's your boy Heaven Hollywood. Check, check, check. Microphone check. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me clearly. Okay. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me clearly. It's your boy Heaven Hollywood. This is the industry tonight. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me. We are live on Twitch. We are live on Facebook, and we are live on YouTube. And we're going to keep you for an hour and a half today. You usually know how we do. We try to give you a quality hour and get y'all up out of here so you can go on about your day. But take what we say very seriously and take this as information, okay? Information that you need to hear. It may not be information that you want to hear depending on who you're a fan of. But we've always prided ourselves on we're going to tell you what you need to hear and not what you want to hear. Okay? J. Cole's getting ready to drop. That's going to be one of our topics. J. Cole's getting ready to drop. He put out a song, disc, whatever it's called, disc 2 or whatever the case. And then there's a big conversation going around about whether J. Cole is still an elite rapper, whether he can rap about being the best. You know, a lot of people saying they don't want to hear J. Cole talking about he's the best no more. And like, because due to the fact that when it was time to, I'm old, didn't know we can go live on all platforms. Keep up the great work. Yes, Jackie, definitely. We going live on Twitch through StreamYard, though. Go live on Twitch. Make sure you add me on Twitch. Whoever does not add me on Twitch yet, add me on Twitch. I'm on Facebook, Heaven Hollywood. We're going live on Facebook. We're going live on YouTube and on Twitch. Soon, I'm only going to be going live on Twitch. So y'all make sure y'all add me there. A lot going on with the whole Don Lemon thing. You know, we're going to try to keep it straight entertainment news. I don't really like getting too much into the ice and all this other stuff. You know, it's enough of that. I try to take you away from those moments for at least an hour and a half. Make your day, you know, so you don't have to worry about the world is going through enough that we have to sit and talk about it on our downtime. Don't want you doing that. If you happen to be taking lunch at work, I definitely don't want you to be hearing about or talking about or being reminded about all the bad things that's going on in the world. We just want to try to keep it straight entertainment news. All right. What's up, Coco Vixen? Put a 1 in the chat. Smiling's in the building. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about, of course, Nicki Minaj and Don Lemon. They're going back and forth, and how will this affect her rollout? How will this affect their rollout? A lot of rap conversation going on. Disc 2, track 2 is the name of the song that J. Cole put out. The other thing we want to go over that's happening right now, I'm going to need the Swifties who always seem to got something to say about Beyonce. They got something to say about everybody. I need the Swifties to step to the front and find out what's going on with your girl. Your girl is being exposed right on in front of the world. And all that nice girl stuff and I didn't know and this, all of that stuff is going to go out the window. because Taylor Swift, nice little girl Taylor Swift, is getting exposed. Now, I want to see the Swifties. You know, the Swifties are always quick to come out and say something when it's somebody else, especially Beyonce. I need the Swifties to answer what's going on. What's going on with your girl? I thought she didn't know nothing about none of this. Huh? Also, for all the ghetto people who like the ghetto ratchet news, we got to go about, shout out to my boy Jay Nolan. I'm going to get him on the pod. He dropped a banger too. Not only does he have good content as far as the industry, he is also a rapper. Some of his raps have been featured in Power and a couple other, and BMF, I believe, as well. I'm going to definitely get him on the pod for an interview, so shout out to Jay Nolan. We got, again, this whole thing, I'm going to give my take on the whole Don Lemon thing. Now, let me start this by saying, I am in no way a Don Lemon fan. I've never been a Don Lemon fan. I'm not really into Don Lemon like that. But I think what people are doing is missing the whole point. And I'm also not with the whole, it was a homophobic slur. I don't think it was. I'll tell you why. As even though we know Don is gay, and her saying the C sucker, I'll let you know why I don't think it was meant in a homophobic way. Right? Let's see. Other than that, Iceman, I mean, Nicki with these Chucky things. Everybody talk about J. Cole being out of the big three. Like, this is insane. Kai Cenat has now jumped into fashion. So we're going to go over some of this stuff. Like I said, the ghetto ratchet news, Lil Baby and Ari. If y'all want to talk about Lil Baby and Ari, we could also do that. So, y'all make sure you put like the stream. Make sure you share the stream. Share it to 3 people. Everybody share it to 3 people. Drake coming for A$AP Rocky. I'm seeing that they're taking some of A$AP Rocky's vinyls away. I didn't even know that they're supposed to be selling, but somebody was saying, oh, he sold 100,000 instead of it. And now I see people saying they're going to be taking some of those sales away. I don't understand how A$AP Rocky sold 100,000 anyway, but I digress. So this is the industry tonight. I'm your host, Heaven Hollywood. And without further ado, let's get on with the show.
I feel me up about to get her. Brother, you was out of pocket, no I didn't stutter. I drop a bag in the trap when investing in the streets, you try to recover. In this world, you could only rap 1 or 2 things that come to the butter. Whoa, you only rap 1 or 2 things that the guns in the butter. Whoa, you only rap 1 or 2 things that the guns in the butter. I drop a bag in the trap when investing in the streets, you try to recover. In this world, you could only rep one or two things that got to the butter. Sleeping patterns kinda complicated, ain't no time for wasting. We some entrepreneurs. I feeling like Scarface on top of the balcony, the word is yours. Took some losses, I was down bad. Napoleon complex, I'm mad. About to put the cam up in the clad bag. Signed, sealed, and delivered. Chicken dinners or you roll with the winners. Taking over for the summer. I double back for the winter. I be with the scammers and spinners. Innovators in the middleman. All my riders got a dental plan. None of my shooters got Instagrams. Bang, bang. Got some bridge headed out of bounds. Had to hop in the Renty to ride around. About to switch up the whips cause they stalking now. Whispering body dropping on my side of town. Flick of finesse. Known to stay up out the mess. Business is never personal. We can politic the rest. I got a plug and they made me a plug. All my moves on they need to know. Rapid weed got me speaking slow. Bet you pay attention when we speaking up. Drip or drown, you gon' sink or you swim. If fail, we be getting it in. Type of pressure that took boys and the men. One way or another, we gon' get our family up about the gutter. Brother, you was out of pocket, no I didn't stutter. I drop it back in the trap when investing in the streets, your treasures recover. In this world, you could only rep one or two things that come to the butter. Whoa, you only rep one or two things that come to the butter. Whoa, you only rep one or two things that come to the butter.
Hollywood and Spades, the industry tonight. Welcome back. Funky Fresh in the Flesh, we're back for another episode. Thank everybody. Make sure that you put a like, put a 1 and say I can hear you if you can hear me clearly. Shout out to everybody on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. We're about to get it in. Go here so I can share this screen. Shout out to my boy Lo for the theme song. The industry tonight. What is this? January 21st already. The month of January is just about gone. About to head into February, Black History Month. Wherein no matter how much they try to take it away, my daughter's up on it. I make sure I'm teaching my daughter about it. So they can take it away from the schools all they want, but my daughter is up on it. She's a big Martin Luther King fan. She's been reading up on all the speeches. Right? So shout out to my daughter Patience, man, staying aware and wanting to be, even though she is 47% African American, I'm going to say. And she's what? 3% Brazilian? But she does have a Brazilian name because I'm Brazilian. Right? But my mom was part Brazilian. She was 25% Brazilian. My dad was 100% African American. So every generation, of course, the percentages go down. But my daughter does. She said, "Oh, I'm like 5% Brazilian." I said, "Yeah, you're right." She was excited about that. I'm 5% Brazilian. Okay, you're still a ninja in a coop. Oh man. Anyway, let's see what we got going on here, man, because it's a mess out here in the entertainment industry. We're gonna see what we get into. People still talk about Cardi B flopping. Like Cardi B's is working on her tour. This is coming up. And I will be attending when it comes to Toronto. I'm going to be going to the concert free of charge, of course. I ain't paying. I'm not paying. I don't pay to go to concerts anymore. So here we go. We're going to dive into a couple of things. Like I said, man, when we first come on, we just like to jump around, take a look at a couple of stories, and then get into our topics for the day. All right, so I'm going to share the screen with you guys. Right? Okay. Let's share the screen. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to everybody. Darius in the building. I appreciate you, brother. Okay. Travis Scott finally responds to Pusha T's claims. If you got to drop Trav's name for the rollout, so be it. So let's take a look at that, right? All right. So as we know, Pusha T, I'm going to assume, said something about Travis Scott. And here's an article that I'm getting from Lipstick Alley. And it says, Travis Scott responds to Pusha T's diss. Let me see him. When you go back and look at it, it's crazy. N-Word said I had a film crew with me. I'm like, what? Right. Travis Scott responds to Pusha T's diss on So Be It and disputes his version of events. If you got to drop Trav's name for the rollout, so be it. When you go back and look at it, it's crazy. N-Word said I had a film crew with me. I'm like, what? I remember when I pulled up, it was them N-Words that had a film crew. I'm talking about the little microphone on the stick and all of that. I was like, oh, S, am I in a documentary? A lot of S Pusha was saying just didn't make sense to me. It was like he was saying I was interrupting S and I was playing them S. First of all, I can't interrupt something that somebody asked me to come to pull up on. Travis says Pharrell invited him to the recording session. So when I hear that type of S, it is just like, I don't know, man. If you got to drop Trav's name for the rollout, so be it. Now, listen. As everybody knows, I don't even know what's really going on with this situation for two reasons. One, I don't give a damn about the clips. I don't give a damn about Pusha T. I've always thought he was an overrated rapper. And when people mention the greats, they always throw Pusha's name in there. And I'm like, where? So I've never really been into Pusha T. And everybody knows I can't stand Travis Scott. Like, that's just not my type of music, right? He might be talented, with his writing, his production, or whatever. But he just ain't my type. I don't consider his music hip-hop music. I don't really know what I consider alternative rap. I don't know. But I'm not into Travis Scott. I'm not saying he's not talented, but I'm just not into Travis Scott. Just like I think Frank Ocean is very talented, and Tyler, the Creator, in some aspects is very talented, but I'm just not into them. I'm not into their type of music, the type of music they make. So I guess Pusha T must have made some sort of comment about Travis Scott. Oh, he was Hollywood or whatever. He pulled up with a film crew. Or Travis basically saying that's cap. When I came, y'all had the film crew. Y'all had, the little microphone and all that. I thought I was in a documentary. Right, so some people are talking about that. I'm gonna see if anybody's commented on it. We'll take the first couple of comments. Shut up, Travis. Your last work and that previous whack A response went nowhere. Foreign now that it's almost time for the Grammys. You want to get back into the conversation. Go cry elsewhere. And ASAP Rocky came back, so we currently don't need this doppelganger. They call him an ASAP Rocky doppelganger. The most boring and unoriginal response from Mr. Auto-Tune. So that's two responses that did not work out for Travis Scott. Addressed everything except why he didn't play the verse of Drake's dissing Pharrell to his effing face, or let him know about it since they claim he got the verse later. Travis really is a lame. I see why Pusha called him harmless. Well, we know Travis is harmless. Didn't he get beat up by Tory Lanez? Little self. Reminder that these are grown men choosing to keep petty nonsense going. So, so far, that's what we got out of that. Again, man, I'm probably one of the least Travis Scott fans walking around. I've never been on board. I know a lot of people when he was doing collabs with Drake and stuff like that, everybody was like, oh yeah, Travis Scott. I've never been on board. Never. What's up? Brooklyn's in the chat. I've never liked Travis Scott. I've never considered him hip-hop. You know, the best thing about him was his baby mama. Never. I've never considered him hip-hop at all. Now, I don't like the clips, but I definitely mess with them way more than I mess with Travis Scott. Plus, the Clips put out a hip-hop album earlier in 2025, which is one of the best rap albums of 2025, if not the best. If it's not the best, it at least is vowing for the best hip-hop album in 2025. Y'all make sure you share this stream. Everybody share the stream to 3 people that they know. Put in 3 people's message. Put it in their DM. Put it on their timeline, Twitter, anywhere. Everybody share this to 3 people. That's all I'm asking you. And, of course, hit the like button coming in. Let's see what else we got before we start getting to our subjects. We know Taylor Swift is one of the subjects. I know Ari Fletcher, when we talk about her, let's see, Cardi B cursing out this girl again. No, we don't care about that. Actress Ruby Rose exposes Nicki Minaj for her bad behavior on set and lying about her real age. Okay. 50 Cent. Let's see what 50 Cent got to say. He uses Kanye West and Nicki Minaj as examples and explains why he stays away from speaking publicly about religion and politics. Well, you have spoken about politics when it came down to Diddy. So I don't know what you're talking about. You know, you spoke on Trump before. You said that you're a Trump supporter, but let's not act like you've never spoke about Trump, sir. Let's go into what 50 Cent had to say. He used Kanye West and Nicki Minaj as examples. So let's jump into what he said here. Tweets loading up. So he probably said something along the lines of see what they're going through, yada, yada, yada. That's why I don't mention it. All right. So let's see what Fitty, as the white people call him, let's see what Fitty had to say. Come on, let's go. I gotta turn down the.
There's two things that tell you stay away from. They say stay away from religion and stay away from politics, because no matter what you think, someone passionately disagrees with you, right? And I stay away from those things. That's how Kanye fucked up. You know, after Nicki said some shit. You know, it feels crazy, but it is very accurate. This Black is about the transformation. It's about.
So I believe that's all he said. He was talking about.
It's an amazing project. I think
the
when people
movie,
get a chance to really look at it, it's important.
It looks like he was talking about his new movie, and that's what he said about it. So he basically said he doesn't talk about religion. He doesn't talk about politics. Now, that is, to me, one of the rules of being a star. What's up, Nita? That's one of the rules of being a star. Stay away from politics. Stay away from religion. I implement those into my everyday life. I refuse to talk about politics or religion to my family or friends because it's way too divisive. That's the reason why I barely do posts about it. That's right. Tell them, Project. They need to know. We're just about the facts and the stats over here. I really don't like talking politics and or religion with friends, family. It's way too divisive. It can break up friendships. Trust me, it's happened to me already. People can break up friendships. People will stop being friends with you based on what you have to say about religion or politics. So I agree with him there, but 50 Cent has mentioned that he's a Trump supporter in the past. So you can't really say you never get into it because you have stated that, right? You have stated that, sir. Fetty Wap. Let's see. J-Lo's response after here's her giving money to a homeless man. Says J-Lo responds to Mean Girl accusations. Oh, here's her giving money to a homeless man. A lot of people are saying that J-Lo's a mean girl and they've never even met J-Lo. Something going on with Brooklyn Beckham. I heard he aired out his parents, David and Victoria, the other day. I don't think anybody really cares too much about that. Let's see what else. Jensen. Brooklyn Beckham exposes and puts his parents, Victoria, on blast. Let's see. Do y'all care about that? I'm going to go according to what y'all care about. Right? Does anybody care about Brooklyn Beckham? Put a 1 in the chat. If you want to discuss that, put a 2 in the chat to say, move on. Nobody cares about Brooklyn Beckham and Victoria and David Beckham. So I'm going to let y'all make that decision. Do you want to talk about that or no? One, if you want to talk about it. Two, if you want to move on and say, forget them. Nobody think about them. I'm just not going to come up here with topics that y'all aren't interested in, right? A lot of people do that. They try to come up on here and be like, whoa, I'm going to stall. I'm going to stall. And so let me see. Am I coming through clear? Y'all let me know. Do y'all want to talk about Victoria Beckham or nah? No? No? Okay. So I can hear you. So Carla is the only one. Thank you, Carla, for responding. I know y'all hear me out there. There's 30 of y'all in here, but only Carla responded. And I just turned on my phone just to make sure that I'm coming through clear. And I can hear myself on the phone, and Carla's the only one that responded. Now, Nita said not really. I hear you. Okay, well, how come you didn't respond? If you hear me, you should have been like, yeah, I want to talk about that. Or, nah, keep it moving. Nobody wants to talk about Brooklyn Beckham. Like I said, I'm not going to be like these other content creators and then put stuff on here. And then they're like making people hang around and wait for the real stuff. Ain't nobody got time for that. We know what. Oh, yeah. Well, okay. Oh, my bad. We all know what everybody's coming here for. But sometimes, we want to, you may come across something that people might be interested in, right? So, Beckham, nobody's thinking about that. All right, let's move on. Cola Pels are raising back fan from Instagram. I met Family Feud. All right, let's talk about this real quick because this was a big story last week. So it looks like your boy Offset, Off the Cheat, or whoever y'all want to call him, has paid off his 7-figure debt. Right? So shout out to Offset for paying off Uncle Sam. Let me see, make sure that y'all can see that. Rapper Offset has paid $1.5 million tax that Uncle Sam demanded amid his bitter divorce from Cardi B, U.S. Weekly can exclusively report. Now, the Internal Revenue Service filed docs on December 26, 2025, releasing a lien accusing the entertainer of owing $1.5 million for the year 2022. So it looks like Offset has paid off that debt. Another lien that's yet to be released was filed by the Georgia Department of Revenue in March 2025 for an alleged $292,000 owed in 2021. So it looks like he owed $1.5 million for the year 2022. The lien was originally filed in April 2024. He also owed $486,000 in 2023. Offset and Cardi split in 2024. $292,000 for 2021. So this Negro just ain't paying no taxes. So the Georgia Department of Revenue bill listed the original bill at $167,916, but the amount swelled with interest of $53,000, penalties of $40,000, collection fee of $33,000. The total of liens yet to be released comes to $778,000. Wow. Wait until somebody said work. Who was that said working, but I hear you? Who was that? Who the hell was that? Okay, Trees. Hey, welcome, Trees. I know you was in here. Beautiful. Good to see you. So, is that going to be a part of the divorce? Someone asked. I'm interested in seeing that as well. I don't know what's taking these two so long. I believe it is Offset. If you would ask me, Offset is holding this divorce up because he wants that house in Atlanta, and he also wants spousal support. So Cardi B's trying not to pay him spousal support. I don't blame her. I definitely wouldn't want to be paying no ninja no spousal support either. Right? Now, let's go with Ari. Let's go to Ari and Lil Baby. And has Ari responded at all to Lil Baby? Let me see something here. Because remember, it was Jada Waiter who put out there that, yes, Ari did sleep with Lil Baby, who's her baby father. And as we all know, Ari and Moneybagg Yo, who's going broke from what I hear, all those guys that came out around the same time as Offset, I'm hearing that they're running low on cash. Whether it be Moneybagg Yo, whether it be who else came out around that time? Not Gotti because he's an executive, but YG. I'm hearing them dudes are running low on cash. Right? Allegedly. But Jada Waiter, remember there was speculation about Ari a long time ago getting with Lil Baby. I believe that they kind of tried to ignore it or pass it off. Make sure you'll hit the like button as soon as you come through the door. And then Ari said that she was going live, but then she never went live. So a lot of people were saying, oh, it must be true because you saw it didn't go live to address it because she was trying to make it seem like Jada Waiter was capping. The way she came off like, oh, this, that, the third. So I'm like, wait a minute, is Jada Waiter capping? Or no? The way she tried to make it seem like Jada Waiter was capping. So let's see here. Has Ari Fletcher respond? Let's see, Ice Spice is big guy. He said outperforming 26 of 27 songs from Cardi B's release project Outside next month, despite dropping 5 months later. Interesting. Y'all already know I'm a fan of Ice Spice records. I know she's not much of a rapper, but there's just something about her sound that I like. Ari Fletcher, let's see. I'm typing in Ari Fletcher, and it looks as though like the only thing she responded to was the stuff about the weight loss. Ari Fletcher, little baby, she said she was going live to discuss these accusations that Jada Waiter made. But as I'm trying to type this in, I see stuff coming up about Ari Fletcher talking about BBLs. Last thing we have here on Sip This Tea, Lil Baby's mama Jada Waiter is making it loud and clear that Ari Fletcher and the rumors of Ari and Lil Baby being together are true. But let's see. In response, Ari allegedly speaks out after the Lil Baby, G Herbo, and Moneybagg Yo rumors. Says she let Lil Baby smash because he makes more money and that Moneybagg only makes $500K a month. Wait a minute. Where's that story at? I don't see that story anywhere. If they said she responded, I sort of don't see it. But man, so Little Baby has really been in, right? He's really been in the mix, man, for all this stuff. He's been in the mix with Sweetie at one point. They're saying he was smashing Sweetie. So let me see here. I don't see the response anywhere on Twitter. Ari Fletcher. Wait a minute. Ari Fletcher responds to Jada Waiter. Let's see.
Hey, you guys, I'm back with another T, and Ari and Jada are going back and forth about a Lil Baby. As you guys know, they said that Ari was sleeping with Lil Baby and
she announced a response on Twitch. Hold on. And had everybody go over there like 70K like people, and then she didn't address it. That's what I thought. Armand did a live to her live stream, but she didn't address it heavy. So she didn't address it heavy, or she didn't address it at all. And you see what I'm saying? 70,000, and now you people say that I'm exaggerating when I say that Cardi B kind of lost popularity, because when Cardi goes live, on Twitch, when Cardi goes live on Twitter and on Instagram, you no longer see 70K in there. You used to see 105 and this, that, and the other. But you got people like Ari Fletcher, because she said she's going to address the rumor. Now, that's probably why she got that many. I was saying that your name forgot to capitalize it. Okay. So if she's saying that she's going to address a situation, she got 70K people in there and then didn't address it. To me, you're just using the cap. You know everybody wants to hear your take on what this girl said. Now, Jada Waiter, shout out to her. At least she came out and said, you know what? That's true. That happened. That happened. So shout out to her. Ari Fletcher, we don't care about BBLs. We don't care about, bitches need to go into the studio, into the gym. And we don't care. We know all that. We know all that. We want to hear what you have to say about what Jada Waiter said. We don't care about you talking about both Moneybagg Yo and G Herbo have allegedly unfollowed little baby following rumors that he slept with Ari Fletcher. Oh, man, oh, man. But, we're tired of playing games. See Jada Waiter, see Ari, you and Moneybagg Yo been playing games. Y'all been playing games, right? Right, Anita. She gonna bring people over there to hear about some stuff that ain't nobody can. Listen, sis, unless you're talking drama, don't nobody want to hear what you got going on. Your time is pretty much up. All these chicks that was famous for being famous baby mamas, y'all's time is up. Jada Waiter, nobody talks about Jada Waiter anymore. Nobody talks about Keisha Kiora anymore until she just had that recent dust up with Nicki Minaj. Nobody was talking about Keisha Kiora anymore. Nobody talks about Jada Waiter anymore. Nobody talks about the other chick, the baby's baby mama anymore. Like, y'all's time has passed. Your little 15 minutes of fame is up. You didn't capitalize on it. You made big business out of being these guys' girlfriends. Now, I know Ari had a little business going on, had some brand deals, but she's pretty much fell out of everyone's good graces. Nobody really cares. Jada Waiter, nobody really cares. I'm sure if they handled their business right, I'm sure all of them still have money, but nobody really cares. Chrissy from Love and Hip Hop, Jim Jones, baby mama, nobody cares. What's her name that's still on Love and Hip Hop? That Mandisi's baby mama. You had a little run, nobody cares. All of y'all's run is over. Being so-and-so's baby mama, and those runs are over. If you not talking T, Erica Mena, your time is over. No one cares anymore. So don't be coming on social media and making these notions like you got some tea to spill, and then when it comes down to it, y'all don't spill nothing. We don't care about y'all anymore. Everybody's body is the same now. Everybody looks the same now. Unless you can come with some drama or some tea or spilling some tea. Look at Melissa Ford. Look at Melissa Ford. Look, she's still beautiful. Still sexy. She's still looking, Melissa Ford is almost 50 years old. She looks amazing. Her body looks amazing. Yeah, men still are interested in the way she looks, but she's coming across on these podcasts like, oh no, I never did anything. She don't want to air nobody out. So everybody's like, what's the sense of you being on a podcast? as good as I think she is on pods, she talks very well and all of that. But if you're not going to be spilling nothing, nobody cares. Right? So, and Carla said they don't have any talent. I mean, here's the bottom line. Everybody could do something, right? Everybody could do something. Get a podcast. You know what I'm saying? So everybody could do something to keep them relevant, right? So remember they had most of these girls' brand deals are built on the way they look, right? And that's what it is. Most of their brand deals are built on the way they look. But now everybody looks like them now. Kim Kardashian is the leader of that, but Kim Kardashian keeps reinventing herself. Now, of course, these girls don't have the connections Kim Kardashian has, but you don't see these girls getting a podcast. You don't see them getting an app. I mean, Keisha Kior pretty much stayed relevant as long as possible because she was handling her business. She had a business going or whatever. And Ari Fletcher was getting money, but once you start getting older and them looks start going and that ass stop dropping, a lot of people aren't going to care anymore. Anita says, makes a good point. These ladies have to find something more to expose other than their bodies. I mean, health, wealth, life, children, family, anything but their bodies. And I'll use Savannah James as an example. Savannah James knows that, okay, it's only but so long being LeBron's wife is going to take me. So what does she do? She goes and starts her own podcast. Right? Might as well make content. Aisha Curry was like that, but it seemed like it wasn't enough for her. She went out, opened up a restaurant. She had her own cooking pod. She was doing things other than being Steph Curry's wife. But it seems like it wasn't enough for her. Because she had other things. She was doing other things. She had her own restaurant that Drake invested into along with Steph Curry. Her own restaurant in San Francisco. She had her own little cooking utensils that she was sponsoring or part of. These cooking utensils. She was doing these cooking pie or cooking videos or something like that. So, I mean, she was doing other things, but it doesn't seem like it was enough for her. It doesn't seem like it was enough for her. But Ari Fletcher, people, Jada Waiter came out and said, why do you think after all this time, Jada Waiter finally decides to admit that Lil Baby was sleeping with Ari? She has nothing else going on. Her popularity is fading. Her popularity is fading. Nobody's talking. When's the last time anybody mentioned the name Jada Waiter? She went, her thing wasn't working. She went and switched off to it, started using her regular last name. Jada Chavez. She said, let me switch back to Jada Chiviz or Jada Chayes, whatever her last name is. Maybe that will smooth the needle. Nobody cared. Jada Waiter, Jada Chavez, Waiter Jada, it don't matter. Your time is up, sis. So Shout out to her for at least trying to put some tea out there. She was trending. She got trending again. All right. So no response for Ari Fletcher. Let's move on. Swifties. Where you at? Where you at? Where the Swifties? Let me tell you something. This thing that's going on with Taylor Swift, this thing is going to get ugly. Now, let's see here. Blake Lively and Taylor Swift text showed that Taylor called Justin Baldoni the B word and a doofus. I think Blake Lively called him the doofus. Taylor lied about not knowing anything about the case. Let's get into it. Because Taylor got some splaining to do. So I want to go to this video. Hold on. Of this lady on X. Let me see here. Boom, boom, boom. This lady on X. Hold on. Taylor Swift, this does not look good, sis. Because you love to play the good girl, right? You love to play the good girl, and you try to act as though like you had nothing to do with this, and now it's starting to come out that you had a whole lot to do with this. So hold on. From the DM, Lively's catty text with Taylor Swift have been revealed as part of the lawsuit over the movie It Ends With Us. The pair traded unflattering remarks about Justin Baldoni, the director and Lively's co-star in the movie, whom she is suing for sexual harassment, even after she stuck her tongue in his mouth and bit his bottom lip. But I digress. According to court papers, Lively called Baldoni the doofus director of my movie, while Swift agreed to help her, saying, "I'll do anything for you." After a meeting about changing the script, Lively called Swift the absolute greatest friend ever. In other texts, Swift gave Lively advice about using one of her songs in the film and suggested Baldoni was not strategic. Just before a bombshell article in the New York Times outlining Lively's claims were due to come out in December, Swift told her friend, "I think this B word, Baldoni, knows something is coming because he's gotten out his tiny violin." The court papers also revealed that Lively badmouthed Baldoni to other famous friends, including Matt Damon and his wife Lucy, and she allegedly told Ben Affleck that Baldoni was a chaotic clown. The texts were revealed in a lengthy court document filed in federal court in New York, in which Lively responded to dozens of claims made by Baldoni. In the file, Baldoni's lawyers wrote on April 20, 2023, Lively asked her friend, the world-famous musician Taylor Swift, for help. Referring to Baldoni as this doofus director of my movie, she went on to describe him as a clown who thinks he's a writer now. She asked Swift to endorse the revised script she was proposing, even without having to read it. One text to the singer said, "You don't have to read it, of course." Wow. Lively's side disputed that she asked Swift to endorse the script without reading it, only hoped that she would. In another part, the court says Swift agreed to do Lively's bidding, texting Lively, "I'll do anything for you." Lively and Swift met with Baldoni at Lively's apartment, where Swift endorsed the revised draft. Afterwards, Lively wrote to Swift, "You were so epically heroic today. I recapped every moment to Ryan Reynolds, Lively's husband. I kept remembering stuff. You making shit up about me and lenses. Wow. And referring to yourself as my doll. This clown, and apparent reference to Baldoni, falling for all of it, but also resisting it. You are the world's absolute greatest friend ever." What an idiot Blake Lively is. She's trying to sue this guy, but didn't think all these text messages would come up. In their response, Lively's side disputed that Swift agreed to do Lively's bidding. Baldoni's lawyer also alleged that Lively told famous friends, including Matt Damon, Lucy Damon, and Ben Affleck, that she wrote the script. "I directed every actor." Baldoni has claimed that Lively took over the film and rewrote entire scenes with the help of Reynolds. According to Baldoni's lawyers, she also did not hesitate to disparage Baldoni among her Hollywood crowd, describing him to Ben Affleck as a poetic clown. The text to Affleck read, "I ended up rewriting and restructuring the entire script. I also having to direct the movie via the chaotic clown director, actor, producer, financial studio head at the center." Lively's lawyers did not dispute the contents of the message, but said it should be taken in context. According to Baldoni's lawyer, Lively also urged her friends and Colleen Hoover, who wrote the book It Ends With Us, which the film was based on, to support her version over Baldoni's. While Baldoni had bought the rights to the book, Sony eventually released Lively's version of the film. Amid the furor over the allegations about his on-set behavior, Baldoni's lawyers wrote, for instance, in April 26, 2024, messages Lively and Swift discussed a plan to use Swift's song in the film's trailer. Swift wrote, "If Justin was strategic, he would be like, no Taylor Swift in the trailer, because that gives you more power over the film. That's your ally, not his." Lively responded, "You are so right. He should have run from your music. How stupid. This was his only shot at having the appearance of an upper hand." In text messages on December 4th, 5th, 2024, Lively and Swift discussed the forthcoming New York Times article, which detailed in depth Lively's claims against Baldoni. According to court message, Swift said, "I think this B." Okay, we read that already. Lively and Reynolds pressed Matt and Lucy Damon about Lively's cut of the film. Reynolds told them Baldoni was a malignantly vain, sick sociopath, minced with almost no sense of boundaries or shame. "I cannot believe he hasn't gone to jail." The filing continued, seeking a broader audience. Lively conveyed her negative views of the production to Anna Wintour. Wow. Vogue's world-famous editor. In one message, Wintour appeared sympathetic, saying how hard a situation it was for you to make the film. So now, Blake Lively has dragged not only Taylor Swift, she's now dragged Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon's wife, the author of the book, and now even Anna Wintour. She's dragged them into her lawsuit. Oh, goodness gracious alive. She's dragged them into a lawsuit. And Taylor was pretty much, now she has cut off Blake Lively. Darius said Blake's tired of the BS, but remember something. Didn't Taylor Swift disassociate herself from Blake Lively? Or did she disassociate herself? Taylor does things that don't address it when it hits the fan. Coward behavior with that nice girl image. Right. She throws her and hides her hands. Taylor probably will address it in music. Who will win this case? Well, I'll tell you something, Darius. I was leaning towards it getting dismissed. But now that this has come up, now Taylor Swift could very well escape with, no, they could say, yeah, she said it, but she never really agreed to do her bidding. And if they want Taylor Swift to get out of this unscathed, they can say she was just being a good friend. You know, Taylor Swift was just being a good friend, right? So I could also see them doing that. I can see this case getting dismissed or Blake Lively winning the case. But I said to myself that it was a good chance that Baldoni, that they could dismiss it, or Baldoni could be found not guilty. Because I believe, Blake Lively suing him for sexual harassment. I can easily see that being, you know what, there was no refuted evidence that any sexual harassment took place because you look like you was just as into Justin Baldoni as you claim he was into you. But Taylor Swift needs for this to be off her name, for them to say, okay, no, Taylor Swift did not interfere. That's what she needs. All right? If I was Taylor Swift, I would come out and say, plain and simple, I did not do any bidding. I was just simply being a good friend. Period. You know, if you want to charge me with being too good of a friend, then charge me. But I was really just being a good friend. So y'all can let me know what y'all think about that. Swifties, y'all ain't speaking up for your girl? Now, y'all quiet whenever it's something that paints Taylor in a bad light. Y'all don't want to say nothing. All right. So the Nicki Minaj and Don Lemon situation, we'll go over that. We know that Nicki Minaj and Don Lemon have a history, right? We know they have a history. Let me see if I can find my video. And that history goes back to when Nicki Minaj was talking about the vaccine. And I told y'all way back then, remember when she used to joke around about being MAGA and then people called on, she was just joking? I told y'all back then, Nicki Minaj was a Trump supporter. But y'all don't want to believe me. No, she didn't say that. She just said other. Y'all don't want to believe me, but Nicki Minaj is not alone. There's a lot of these celebrities that they're looking out for themselves. And Donald Trump helps their pocket. So if Donald Trump helps their pocket, of course they're going to vote for Donald Trump. Why wouldn't they? Right? But the thing that hurts Nicki in this whole thing is she tried to come off like she wasn't. And the LGBT, that's one of the big things about what's going on with her, is that, let's just be honest, conservatives, there is no cutting corners. There is no, but they do not like gay people. They are against gay people. They are against gay rights. There's no way that you can slice and say, Oh, if you're a Christian, no. Even if you're a Christian, they are not for gay people. It's just not. They don't like the LGBTQ community. They don't like Black Lives Matter. So they're not for any other people getting equality except white people. White Christians. They care about white so-called Christians. They don't care about Black Christians. They just use that. Donald Trump is just using that. Oh, the Christians. The Christians. What do you care about a Christian when you are saying grab them by the P word? Is that what Christians do? That's how Christians talk? You know, Nicki, I love you as far as your music goes and your talent. You are a generational, let me say this, and so it'll go on record. When it comes to rapping, Onika Tanya Mirage is a generational talent when it comes to rapping. So I wish that's what she would do. I wish that's what she would do. Stay out of, you heard what 50 Cent just said. Stay out of politics. Stay out of religion. Your job is to rap. Right? So when you speak on these things, a lot of people feel some type of way because you're talking and siding with people who hate the same people who made you rich. Let's be honest. Yes, Nicki Minaj has white fans, but a lot of them are gay. A lot of her non-black fans are gay or have no problem with the LGBTQ or stuff like that. And when you're siding with Trump, you're coming across, and I know her fans try to save her. I know her fans try to say, well, no, she's only doing this for this. She's only doing it for this reason. The bottom line is she is defending people who hate the people who made her rich and famous. And that's a fact. That is a fact. Right? So, let's see here. And, you know, I hate to keep bringing this thing up and seem like I'm piling on Nicki Minaj, but what people have to understand is this. I want Nicki Minaj to rap. I don't want Nicki Minaj involved in politics. I don't want these rappers involved in politics. I don't want rappers involved in religion, talk, or whatever. I want rappers and musicians to, that's just like a basketball player. I don't want a basketball player talking hockey. I don't want a basketball player talking football. Your expertise is basketball. You played basketball. Why do I want to talk football with you? You know, so then a lot of people are saying, oh, she's messing up her legacy. Messing up her legacy. Now, her legacy as a musician, again, with me, I can separate the talent from the personal life. I can. Yeah, I mean, my thing is this: haven't piled on Nicki enough. Well, I think I don't know, man. And on another random note, remember I brought up about. Remember I told y'all exclusively about that silent letter. That silent letter from Rock Nation to Nicki Minaj's people, or to Nicki Minaj. Seems like that may have been true, what I said, because I ain't seen a meme. I ain't seen a AI picture. And I haven't seen her mention Jay-Z or Desiree Perez. So maybe that thing about what I told y'all about that silent letter is probably true. Because even though things have been going on with Desiree Perez's case, where Nicki used to say, oh, justice for Demarie, this, that, and the other, she hasn't really been speaking on it. She hasn't spoke on it since rumors of that silent letter came out, and I'm glad she hasn't. I'm glad she backed down off of Jay-Z. Because again, maybe it's just that, or maybe she just has too much going on to speak on anything, because she also have not spoke on Raleigh. So maybe she's just concerned about now let me let y'all know exactly what Nicki Minaj is doing and why she keeps saying chess and this, that, and the third. She plans on putting, and I'm going to go into it deep in my members only, but she plans on putting a lot of MAGA stuff in her rollout because she wants the support of MAGA when it comes down to her music, right? So if she can get the support of MAGA and it catapults her to selling more music, there's a certain number that if she sells, there's a certain incentive. I'll go over what the incentive is in my members only, but just know this. There's a certain number that she hits with Universal and Republic that she receives an incentive. Now, the only way she feels as though she's going to hit that number, she already knows what her fans are going to do. Like her fans, with the fan base she got, regular promotion, she's going to do between 200 and 300, right? Anywhere in between there. 225, 250, 260, right? She knows with her fan base alone that she's capable of that. So the only way to get upward of 300,000 and God forbid 400,000, she's going to need a new fan base. And that's what she's doing. Do you think they really take out? I do not. I do not. I don't think, remember, she finally bought the home. I do not think that Nicki Minaj is going to wait all that time, buy a house, take out a $13 million mortgage on the house, and then let them take the house over a $500,000 debt, especially when she has that money. Nicki Minaj has $500K. She probably got that in her piggy bank. She probably got that in her, her bottom dresser drawer underneath her lingerie. She probably got $500K, right? Or a checkbook to write $500K. What I believe is happening is, I believe Nicki Minaj does not want to pay it, and she probably feels as though she shouldn't have to pay it. And I think she's trying to stretch out the court dates as much as possible to see if she can avoid paying it. But if it comes down to the judge saying you absolutely positively have to pay it, I think she'll then pay it. But if she can keep getting off with adjournments, adjourn it, if she can keep getting away with that, I believe that's what she'll do. I believe she'll keep getting away with the adjournments until she finally has to pay it. Now, all the stuff about her being broke, I don't believe that for 1 minute. I don't believe that Nicki Minaj is broke. I also don't believe that she don't got the money. Man, is it going to snow forever? Holy shit. It's been snowing in Canada like almost every day for the past 2 weeks. So it's annoying. But I don't believe that Nicki Minaj doesn't have the money. I know she's got $500K. But I feel as though she's at the point where she's like, listen, I don't want to have to pay him, this person. Then she got other lawsuits going on. And that's what a lot of celebrities do. Unless it's like a actual assault case, they try to stretch it out as long as possible, avoid paying as long as possible before they pay it. So that's what I believe is happening with Nicki Minaj, right? Let me see here. The only response that she had back was she purposely put the sea sucker. Oh, let me go over why I don't feel as though, as much as Don Lemon says it, let me go over why I don't feel as though her slur was homophobic. All right. We're going to go over that. So a lot of people say, oh, yeah, homophobic. But I don't agree that what she said to Don Lemon was homophobic. And I'll tell you why. If you guys remember, what Nicki came up. If you guys remember, right, when Nicki used to have Queen Radio, right? When Nicki used to have Queen Radio, she used to do this thing. You know how like Donkey of the Day? She used to do this thing, cocksucker of the day. And she was giving those cocksucker of the day awards to people who were not known as homosexual. So if she was giving it to them back then and it wasn't taken as homophobic, just because Don Lemon is gay doesn't mean she meant that in a homophobic way, if that makes sense. Now, if she would have never had cocksucker of the day, I might agree that she purposely called Don Lemon that because he's gay. But she's been saying, sea sucker long time ago. So that's the reason why I don't believe that it was homophobic. Of course, Don Lemon can make that case or try to make that case that it was. But I don't believe it was. I don't believe it was homophobic. Because, again, she used to have the seed sucker of the day, right? Let's see here. And staying with Jay, debate infidelity. Oh, stop. So here, of course, what she said, Don C. Sucking Lemon is disgusting. How dare you? I want that thug in jail. See, that rhetoric is what ticks people off, because that's the rhetoric people who are anti-black use for racist comments. They were using that against, Angel Reese and that thug. That is such a white person coded word to call somebody black, other than calling them the N-word. Thug, ghetto. Like, you don't see white people calling other white people thugs. You don't see white people calling other white people ghetto. You know what I'm saying? So, his speech says he won't use force to control Greenland. All right, so that's what I'm getting out of that. This whole Nicki thing with the MAGA, I'm over it. I want her to say, forget all that. I want to get excited about hip hop music, because there's nothing really to look forward to. The J. Cole situation. I totally disagree with everybody's take on J. Cole. Totally disagree with everyone's take on J. Cole. He's no longer in the big three, and I'm like, wow. All because he didn't want to get with a battle with his two people who he respects. He didn't want to get into a battle, and then you see how that ended up. You see how that ended up. So here's academics saying J. Cole is so scared of Drake and Kendrick and will always be a loser when it comes to competition. Act as the only way Cole can save himself is firing at both Drake and Kendrick. At the same time, and even then, neither would respond. Listen, man. Everybody wants J. Cole to have indulged into that battle. And he pulled out not because he is not because he's scared of Drake or scared not because he's scared of Drake or scared of Kendrick Lamar. He just didn't want to get involved in that. And you see what happened. He saw what was happening. He saw what was happening. It was far more than just a battle. Turned out in court. Now, what if he would have continued on with that battle and then he found himself in court? They would have been mentioning him during this court, and he had been like, I shouldn't even be involved in this. But I totally disagree. I think he can rap and say he's the best. I am the best. And this battle, if he would have went into the battle, and let's say he would have lost to Kendrick Lamar in that battle, that still don't prove that Kendrick Lamar is a better rapper than J. Cole. It just means he had a better battle record. Because Nas beat Jay-Z in a battle, but I'm sorry, I don't think Nas is a better rapper than Jay-Z. He's not a better all-around rapper than Jay-Z. Jay-Z's wittier. Jay-Z is more versatile. To me, Jay-Z's entendres are better. Nas is a better storyteller. And plain lyricist, maybe Nas is a better lyricist. But when it comes out, there's more to rapping than just being a lyricist. And I think Jay-Z checks more boxes in his rap career than Nas does. But Nas did win the battle. But just because you win that battle, people think that Tory Lanez won the battle against Joyner Lucas. But would you say that Tory Lanez is a better rapper than Joyner Lucas? Hell no. Hell no. That's like Eminem. If Eminem response to MGK was trash, right? And people say, yo, MGK won that battle. Would you be going around saying that MGK is better than Eminem? I wouldn't. A battle is one moment. One moment. So I still think that J. Cole's still in the big three. Because the big three is basically the three best rappers of this generation. So if you take J. Cole out, who are you putting in there? Who are you putting in there? If you pick J. Cole out, who are you putting in there? Come on, man, stop it. It's your boy, Evan Hollywood. This has been another installment of The Industry Tonight. Make sure y'all share the stream. Make sure you like, comment. Anybody catching it on the replay, leave your comments in the comment section. If you want to support the stream and support me, you can send a cash app to $ Heaven Hollywood. And we'll catch y'all on the next one, man. Y'all stay up.